So first off, I want to say congratulations to the Bears fans. If you guys want to type and gloat, go ahead and take your time to do it. You won the game. Your defense pretty much carries you that entire way. Mitch tried to let us back into it, but at the end of the day, you guys ended up being the better team. And it was a fun game to watch besides all the injuries. And good luck the rest of the season. But the rest of this video is going to be me breaking down the game from the Giants' point of view. So if Bears fans want to stay, then go ahead and stay. If not, then, like I said, good luck the rest of the season.
Once a Giant, always a Giant. For me, it's only a Giant.
So what's going on, YouTube? Diggy546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. We took another loss in 2 weeks. 0-2 to start the season. I didn't expect this. These two games I expected us to win. And I expected our first loss to come this week against the 49ers. This isn't what happened. And we faced two really, really good defenses. But let's go and, dive a little deeper into this Chicago Bears game. Starting off with the negatives, because I want to end this video on a positive note somewhat. First of all, our best player, superstar running back, in my opinion, the best running back in the league, looks like he tore his ACL. It's not official yet. Maybe it's official by the time this video goes up, but as of now, it's not official. Joe Judge says, hold out hope. Maybe, it's a sprain. Maybe it's a severe sprain. We don't know. More negatives. The first half, the defense looked like things that I've seen before. I saw actually a lot of things that I've seen before, but I'll start off with the defense. The first half, I saw defensive players playing 5-10 yards off of the line of scrimmage on 3rd and short. I saw too many people wide open in the flats, and Mitch he didn't even see a lot of the times where someone was wide open at the first down marker. They went into a zone entirely too much against a team where you're matched up against Allen Robinson, and James Bradberry did a tremendous job. And I guess they weren't sure about covering Anthony Miller, but if you can't cover them in zone, you might as well just stick with man, because at least Allen Robinson will be eliminated. And that's what they did in the second half, but I'll get to that in my positive section. Yeah, Mitch Trubisky was entirely too comfortable. We ended up getting, I think, 3 or 4 sacks, 3 sacks. They were all covered sacks. Mitch had entirely too much time to throw the ball, and it was looking like he was going to put up 30, 40 points on us because the defense was not getting pressure. And that's something that I saw last year. It was different from last week. They pretty much consistently were in the backfield, but this week it was more of the same, and I even saw this in the second half, but the coverage was so good in the second half that it kind of offset. Also, why, I don't understand where this came from, but all of a sudden this Giants defense with a better defensive front can't stop the run. I don't understand why. Last year they were able to stop the run, and anyone who thinks that it's because teams were passing against us, yes, teams were passing against us, but teams were in the lead and they were running the ball a lot more. They were running the ball a lot more last year, and we were able to hold them under 4 yards a carry at 3.9. And this year it seems like teams are able to assert themselves, and that's not good for Dave Gettleman, because you put all these resources into the defensive line, and last year it worked for the run game, but if these guys can't stop the run and you don't have pass rushers, this is a bad recipe for that D-line. And hopefully they can get better as the year goes along and shore this run game up, but right now it looks bad. Maybe we're missing David Mayo, but Blake Martinez has been doing a great job, but maybe, we need someone else. Maybe it's Devontae Downs. Maybe it's him that's missing these gaps. But as of now, him and I think O'Shane Ximines, those are the two guys that I see that are kind of getting pushed around. Also, Andrew Thomas kind of came down from a great game that he had last week. Last week, Andrew Thomas was almost flawless. And Bud Dupree had a pretty good game yesterday against Drew Lock. What that tells me is him going against a veteran like Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack, that hands outside thing, that's not going to work. You got to get your hands inside. You got to stay balanced. But the hands outside thing is not going to work, and they have to correct that. Now, he didn't do horrible, but he had a worse game than he did last year. He also gave up that strip sack. You know, Daniel has got to be more aware. He's got to get rid of the ball. But, you know, Andrew Thomas did get beat on that play, and he got beat a couple of other times. Also, we saw some more of bad Evan Ingram. He slipped on the route and caused us to throw an interception. He did bounce back later, but, you know, you can't cause your quarterback to have turnovers. You can't do that. It kills drives, and now I'm seeing about 3 or 4 drives in the first 2 weeks that Evan Ingram is killed. Also, Darius Slayton, where were you? Where was did Darius Slayton play yesterday? I think he got maybe 1 catch. He disappeared. Now, you can say the Bears defense is great. Maybe when I look at the tape, they're bracketing him, and, you know, he's not there yet as that dominant #1 receiver who, you know, can beat double teams on a regular basis. But he disappeared yesterday. Maybe they just paid a lot of attention to him. But this is only going to continue because, I mean, to be honest, this is going to continue to happen because who else are they going to key in? Now, with Saquon out, it looks like the Giants are going to bring in Devontae Freeman. It's nothing official yet. I mean, I haven't even seen anything saying that they signed him, but it's looking like they're going to bring in Devontae Freeman, and I think he's a good running back, and him with Wayne Gallman and Dion Lewis, that's probably about league average, or a little bit below, but I mean, I think that's a solid, you know, group of running backs. They'll be serviceable if the rest of this offense can put, you know, their pieces together and do their part. If Daniel Jones can grow and the receivers can, you know, grow, then these running backs are more than fine. With this team coming out looking flat, that is unacceptable. Last week, I mean, maybe because it's a short week, but last week they came out firing, and that's how we need to come out every week, especially if we're going to be in situations where we're the less talented team. They came out a little flat, and it showed because in the second half, it's like they flipped the switch and the Bears couldn't do anything. They didn't score at all in the second half. So that's going to lead me to my positives. First off, we dealt with injuries. You know, injuries that can be draining to a team when your star player and one of your leaders, Sterling Shepard, gets injured too. And we were still in position on that last play to win the game. Obviously, we need to execute and we need to be able to get the ball in the end zone, but we were still in position. And we also just got some bad luck with Bobby Massey, you know, catching that pass and getting the first down, which allowed them to run an extra 2 minutes off the clock and make us use our last 2 timeouts. The defense in that first half looked like last year's defense. They looked like they were just going to give up. Also on the last drive, they gave up entirely too many rushing yards. It was frustrating to watch. I don't understand why, you know, Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, and Dalvin Tomlinson are getting beat at the point of attack because they're all, you know, great run players. But as far as the second half in general, 31 passing yards for Mitch, 2 interceptions. James Bradberry was incredible. He matched up against Allen Robinson at least most of the second half. And Allen Robinson, I think got like a 14 or 15 yard catch early on in the game in zone coverage. But besides that, I think he was only able to get around 2 catches for another 15 or 16 yards on James Bradberry. And James Bradberry forced 2 interceptions against him. I didn't think that he would, you know, lock guys down like this, but he locked Allen Robinson up. I mean, we didn't see him. He was getting draped. More positives. I mean, Daniel Jones at the end of that first half drove us in the position to have a field goal before the end of the half. And then the end of the game, you know, just couldn't come up with it. But he didn't look horrible. Interception wasn't his fault. Now that other interception, they got called back. I don't like that decision, but there was pass interference on that play, so it was right for it to get called back. Also, Evan Ingram looks like he finally might have woken up. If he can continue what he did in the second half, then maybe we have a tight end. Maybe we have a receiving option at the tight end position. But other than that, I mean, all in all, I guess you can, you know, look at some optimist point of view and say that, you know, now that we might have a running back by committee, Dion Lewis will be that pass catching running back for us, and we'll see a lot more of his skill set. And, you know, Devontae Freeman isn't bad. So I think we'll be okay as far as the running game goes because defenses aren't going to really key in on that running game. There wasn't much positives to really go on about. I mean, that's just how it was today. There wasn't really any positives. But yeah, that's just how the game pretty much went. Just an overall bad game. Even though we had the chance to win at the end, it just didn't feel like if he would have scored that game-winning touchdown, I just didn't really feel it. I didn't feel like invested into that game because of what had happened and the fact that Saquon out, you know, takes our team down about 2 or 3 notches. And then with Sterling Shepard out, I mean, you got Damian Ratley and CJ Bort seeing meaningful snaps. Looks like it's going to be a long season. This is a season to figure out who Daniel Jones is. If he doesn't have a good season this year, whether it be his fault or not, the Giants might be looking for a quarterback, and it might be another general manager making the pick. That's just, you know, that's not my decision. That's not what I would want, but I think that that's probably where it's going. Maybe he might get another year after this. He is a top 10 pick, but it's looking, if he can't correct the core mistakes, holding on to the ball for too long, reading the defense, identifying the blitz, and not fumbling. I mean, we don't need to see any more fumbles from him. If he can keep this season under, you know, 8 fumbles, I think that's a tremendous improvement because last year he fumbled 18 times. This year only once. So I guess that's an improvement, but if he replaces these 18 fumbles with interceptions, it's going to be difficult. So if you made it this deep into the video, definitely hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be covering the Giants every week, covering more NFL teams every week. So all NFL fans are welcome here. And until next time, it's Diggy546, and I'm out.